We first begin from the labor front, where the Ghana National Association of Teachers has expressed dissatisfaction with the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service's intention to rationalize and deploy teachers to pre-tertiary public schools. Speaking at a press conference in Kumasi, the GNAT president, Paul Ejeboache, described the move as a recipe for disaster. A report by William Evans Inkum.
According to GNAT President Paul Ejeboache, even though the decision by the ministry and the GES is meant to ensure equitable distribution of teachers, such move would affect the country's efforts to attain quality education. He described as demoralizing the manner in which the government, together with the GES, is conducting the exercise.
Over 5 years or more, the Ghana Education Service has transferred teachers without the corresponding payment of their legitimate entitlement. This situation, GNAT views as a blatant violation of the collective agreement, and GNAT wants to sound a word of caution to the MOE and Ghana Education Service that in the expected transfers, funds should be secured to pay the legitimate entitlement of the affected teachers to bring about a smooth exercise. Any attempt to transfer teachers without the corresponding payment of the legitimate entitlements will result in a labor unrest. GNAT will resist.
Paul Ejeboache also described the move as a looming threat and wants all stakeholders, including the president, to intervene.
Meanwhile, the Ghana National Association of Teachers is threatening labor unrest if the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service goes ahead with its new policy of transferring teachers to rural areas without due compensation. And joining me on the phone line is Paul Ejeboache. He is National President of GNAT. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Portia. Rather, the name is Paul Ejeboache.
Okay, thank you very much for that correction. But okay. Mr. Ejeboache, has there been any discussion on the amount of the compensation to be given?
Thank you very much for reaching me. It is not a compensation that we are asking for. I want to make things clear. GES, as an employer of teachers, has the right to transfer any teacher to any station that the service of the teacher is needed. The point we are struggling with the GES is that in the condition of service that gives to the teacher to work, it is stated that at any point in time when GES wants to transfer a teacher from his or her place, GES is bound to pay T&T and 2 months gross salary to the teacher. This GES is not doing, and we are saying that we have been dealt wrongly for past too long, and therefore this time around, this thing must be done. We are never against the exercise that they are embarking on, but what we are demanding is that the other conditions that is attached, much as the GES has the right to transfer, he must also see it as a responsibility to pay the T&T and the transfer grant for the teacher to have the sound mind to deliver.
And you are saying this has taken too long. How long are you referring to here?
For the past 5 years, teachers have been transferred without them being paid their T&T and transfer grant. Anytime you put in your claim, it is said that there's no money, and teachers reluctantly go. And this time around, we think that it cannot continue to happen in that way.
So until this is given to you, teachers posted to these deprived areas, you advising your members not to go?
Yes, please. You see, we are saying that we need a harmonious exercise to do these things. We are asking the GES to sit down with us. If there is a problem, let us all sit down and then see how best we have to resolve it. What we're saying is that GES is giving letters, especially in the Ashanti region, where district directors have indicated that the T&T should be borne by the teacher. And we are telling our teachers that if they receive such a letter, they should not go, because it indicates that when you move, it means you cannot claim for your T&T.
Now, you've held discussions with the Ghana Education Service. Are you getting a positive response from them?
No, what we are telling GES is that even the timing is very wrong. We are within an academic year, a second term in an academic year. We just left with just about another term to finish a year. We are saying that the problem has been there for far too long. So why can't we solve it gradually so that we can meet an amicable settlement? So what we are saying is that we can start in a way. What we are even suggesting is that within an environment where we think that there are overcrowding, overstaffing, and then understaffing, we are saying that within the same environment, we can make that swap, which will not entail any movement. So that gradually, when we are left with a few where we can manage and pay their TNT, then we do that. But if it comes like mass transfer, I think it's not getting well. What we should understand is that the child at the grassroots is the important thing there.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. I've been speaking with Paul Ejeboache, his national president of GNAT, and our reporter Daniel Opoku has also been going round, and he joins me on the line. Good afternoon, Daniel, and thanks for joining us. Daniel.
Hello, yeah,
thanks for joining us. Daniel, you've been going around. What have you gathered so far with regards to the National Association of Teachers threatening to embark on a strike action?
Pastor, there are two issues on board now. One is on the 20% salary increment that government is expected to give to the Ghana National Association of Teachers for teachers who have been transferred to deprived or underserved areas. And the other issue has to do with the rationalization of teachers across the country. With the first issue, which talks about a 20% salary increment for teachers, the decision was taken 2 years ago by then who was the then Minister of Education. But unfortunately, they couldn't conclude all the agreements, and she was transferred from the ministry. So as I speak to you, that process has halted. And teachers who have been already sent to the deprived areas have not received the 20% increment that the ministry promised to give to them. So when you speak to the leadership of GNAT, they are not happy. Their members have not received the 20% salary increment already. I understand there's some sort of bad sentiments among their rank and file. So basically, that's what is about a 20%. And with the rationalization is also linked to the 20%. But with this one, the current Minister of Employment, Professor Nana Jenopoku, is expected to transfer teachers to underserved areas. And that's why NAT is also not happy because there's lack of collaboration, there's lack of consultation between them and the ministry. That basically is the problem between NAT. Let me say problem between NAT and the Ministry of Education.
Now, Daniel, the Ghana Education Service, have they reacted to these threats?
From the Ghana Education Service, they are yet, NAT has officially written to the Ghana Education Service the need for them to have a consultation or discussion for some sort, for them to be able to trash out some of these difficulties. Because most of the teachers who are transferred to these areas are entitled to grants and their TNT. All these things are stated in their conditions of service. So if the ministry is unable to identify some of these things and there's lack of collaboration discussed between them and for them to foster know how these teachers will get their TNT and their grant, that will be a difficulty. So NAT has officially written to the GNAT and the Minister of Education for them to meet and trash out some of these issues.
Thank you very much, Daniel Opoku. You're still watching Midday Live on TV3.